Do you resist calling yourself an artist because you don't feel qualified? Do you feel like you're not quite ready to launch your website or your art for sale because you need to tweak more and research more? Do you buy a lot of art supplies but find them sitting in a drawer for years? You might be suffering from Artist Imposter Syndrome, and I have it too. My disorder is actually a very specific subset of this heartbreaking condition called Photographer Imposter Syndrome. And I'm going to share with you the details of my disease and also how I fixed it. Welcome to the Josie Show, where it's artist to artist chat about the business of making art and selling art, because I think artists should get paid. If you also think you should get paid as an artist, you should start by pricing your art right. This is a huge question I get often, so I made a Pricing Your Art Made Easy worksheet, and you can get it for free at josielewis.com/pricing. Okay, here's a story for you about my PIS, Photographer Imposter Syndrome. It all started because I have a friend who is a professional photographer and has been one for decades. We were at the camera gear shop where she was framing her photographs for an upcoming exhibition, and I was assisting, which basically meant I occasionally held something up on the wall and brought in some coffee, but mostly just stood around complimenting her work, as friends do. One of the staff at the shop was also a friend of hers, and he was chatting with us. Amy was busy framing, so the guy was pretty much talking to me. He said, "Are you a photographer?" And I said, no, definitely not at all, no. But I do spend most of my workday using a camera, and I do have thousands of dollars of gear and lenses and lighting equipment. And I did spend 3 years in a darkroom developing 35mm film, so I understand film photography. And I've been a second shooter on countless weddings while I supported my photographer friends. And I photograph my own art, and it's really hard, so I've spent years and years learning how to do it. And of course, I spend hours and hours in Photoshop editing my photography. And if you're lucky enough to be the stranger who asked me to take a pic of their family at the park, I will art direct the shiz out of you and give you the best dang family snap of your life. Will I take 57? Maybe. And the camera shop guy was like, "So what about all that makes you not a photographer?" Touché, sir, touché. Ultimately, I was comparing myself to my professional photographer friend who makes photographs. I cannot approach her technical and artistic skill in that area because I use photography as a vehicle for very different and very specific purposes to show my art. I make art and take pictures of it. She makes art, and the art is the photographs. And I understand that in the vast world of photography, I'm an infant. I barely understand the merest smidgen of the tech and the artistry that's involved because I am using my cameras for a very specific thing. I don't have broad range. But I guess my point is, though I can acknowledge there's a lot more that I have to learn about photography, I think it's a safe bet to say that I know more about photography than probably 95% of your casual clickers with an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who are self-taught in art, which I guess I largely am with photography, knowing they never got an A- in Photography 102, never feel justified in taking on the description of photographer or artist, even though their self-directed activity has spanned the hours of work and decades of focus. But here's the thing. You can declare yourself to be an artist while acknowledging that you have a lot to learn simultaneously. In fact, it's a sign of your wisdom and understanding that there is a vast sea of knowledge that you have barely dipped into. And that is true whether you've been painting for 5 days or 5 decades. You can step into your heart's passion and own the title, even at very early stages. Unlike being a PhD or a CPA, you don't need anyone to grant you a certificate. I think there is real value, even for a new, inexperienced creator, to declare themselves to be an artist, because now it's time to live it. When I own the term photographer or videographer as a description of my process, it makes me more serious about it. It makes me say, yes, I care about this and I want to grow and I want to get better. And I will invest my time and my money learning to improve because this is where my heart's leading me. If your heart is leading you towards being an artist, claim it. Claim it now and fill the shoes later. Do you suffer from artist imposter syndrome? Tell me all about it in the comments.